Price, Romero, Runner, Smidian, Steinberg, Strickland, Walters, Wiggins, Wolk, Wright, Weiland, Yee. Madam President, we are lacking a quorum.
We are lacking a quorum. Sergeants, please lock the doors. Bring in the absent members so that we can begin this afternoon's session. Members, a quorum is present. Would the members and our guests be on the rail and in the gallery please ride? We will be led in prayer this afternoon by our chaplain, Rabbi Mona Alfie, after which please remain standing. We will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag by Senator Cogdill.
Good afternoon. When we are very young, we look eagerly towards each birthday, yearning for time to pass more quickly so we can begin our life. And when we are very old, we pray for time to slow down, aware of what a precious gift each day is. But in the middle, we too often don't take the time to appreciate that wherever we are in life is where we should be. Birthdays are more than milestones. Excuse me, they are reminders. They are reminders for us to stop and reflect, and most of all, to appreciate not only our own life, but the blessings that others bring into our lives as well. Today is the birthday of both Greg Schmidt, the Secretary of the Senate, and Tony Byrd, the Sergeant at Arms. And we give thanks to the Holy One for these two loyal servants of the state of California. We give thanks for their gift of service to the state and to us. We give thanks for their dedication and their integrity, their kindness and their companionship. May the Holy One, the Creator of us all, grant them each good health and a good life, and may all of their worthy endeavors find blessing in God's eyes. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Happy birthday.
And you're not part of
Not yet. Working on it.
Members, without objection, Senator Hollingsworth is requesting permission to have a photographer on the floor. Under privileges of the floor, Senator Hollingsworth recognized at Senator Steinberg's desk.
Good afternoon, Senators. Today is the kickoff of National Foster Care Month, and in honor of that, I have the privilege of introducing country music's singer-songwriter Jimmy Wayne. Jimmy's best known for his album Do You Believe Me Now, in which the title track became his first #1 hit on the Hot Country Songs chart, and he has two other top 10 hits, including I Love You This Much and Stay Gone, which was inspired by his sister. Now, Jimmy's here for National Foster Care Month, and he has overcome immense personal adversity in order to follow his dreams of becoming a country musician. Survived a turbulent and abusive childhood and ended up in foster care after his father abandoned the family. Jimmy was taken in by a North Carolina couple, Russell and Beatrice Costner, a loving and supportive foster care family. The family encouraged Jimmy's evolving love of music. Now, his personal experiences have inspired him to give back in a very meaningful way, and on January 1st of this year, he decided to set out on a 1,660-mile solo hike from Nashville, Tennessee to Phoenix, Arizona, to raise money and awareness about aging out foster youth. His campaign he calls Meet Me Halfway and includes a 25-mile walk a day and visits to foster care homes along the way. And he hopes to someday build an orphanage for kids that are too old to be adopted. His stop here at the state capitol marks his 721st mile. Not only have the pleasure of introducing him today, but I also want to remind all of you, if you would like to see his act coming up on June 4th, he's going to be at the Temecula Balloon and Wine Festival in my district. So if you'd please join me in welcoming Jimmy Wayne, and I'd ask that we allow him a few moments, Madam President, to address the body.
Thank you so much. I started this walk January 1st, and I'm simulating a homeless teen. It's a project called Project Meet Me Halfway. I began walking January from Nashville, Tennessee. Did not know that there was going to be 3 ice storms within 1 month. I sleep outside because what I do is I Ustream, Twitter, etc., so folks can live vicariously through this technology to see what it's like being a homeless teen. Being a kid who lives out on the street, who's hungry, they get to hear the rain, they get to hear the ice. People take me in, give me a place to sleep, feed me, I talk about it, and what it does is I'm trying to raise awareness to how important it is for us to provide these kids with the resources that they need to make that transition from that life to adulthood. That's why I'm here today. I heard about Assemblymember Jim Bell's AB 12, and what that is, what we're asking is obviously to extend the period from 18 to 21 so they can have that amount of time to make that transition. I know from experience as a homeless teen, when I was 16 years old, I was taken in by an elderly couple that gave me the opportunity to go back to school. I graduated high school with perfect attendance, went on to college. I graduated with a degree in criminal justice because I knew a lot about it. And then I was able to pursue my dream as a country music singer and would not be right here, right now, if it wasn't for that elderly couple in their mid-70s that took me in and gave me a home. We need your help. We need to make sure that we take care of these kids now. If we don't, we will be taking care of them in 2 years, 2 years at a time. I ended up being a corrections officer in the state of North Carolina, and I saw every single kid that I was in a facility with come through those gates in handcuffs. So we need your help. We're going to either pay for it now or later. So I'm just asking you, please help these kids. They deserve our support, and give them what that family, Beatrice Costner and Russell Costner, gave to me when I was 16. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for being here today, for the journey you've made, and for the words that you have shared with us today. And I hope everybody in this chamber notes the significance of this request and what it means for so many youth in California. Messages from the Assembly. These will be deemed read. Reports of committee will be deemed read and amendments adopted. Under motions, resolutions, and notices, without objection, SR 55 will be waived in order that a lobbyist may be admitted to the floor. In addition, without objection, Joint Rule 62A will be suspended to allow the Health Committee to hear SB 882 on Wednesday, May 5th, without 2 days' notice in the daily file. Additionally, without objection, the following bills with floor amendments will be deemed read and the amendments adopted. Item A45 on the inactive file, it's bill number AB 435 by Assemblymember Lowenthal. Pursuant to Senate Rule 29.10c, AB 435 is referred to the Rules Committee. Senator Wright, recognized at Senator Steinberg's desk.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, for those of you who get up here in Sacramento early in the morning, you'll recognize Kelly Jackson, who has for the last 5 years been a part of News 10 that comes on the morning show. Kelly has decided that she was going to be closer to her family, and she's going to leave us, so you won't see Kelly on News 10 any longer. I thought it would be fitting if we had Kelly here now. She's actually going to kill me because I actually took her from moving, and the movers are at her house as we speak, and I didn't tell her what she was coming to do. So in the true fashion of live television, here is Kelly Jackson, who is, again, going to be leaving us. In fact, she's literally leaving tomorrow morning on a road trip with her sister back to St. Louis. But I thought it would be fitting if we just said thank you for her years of service here in Sacramento. And I thought I could give her at least a token of our appreciation and just say thank you, Kelly, and good luck in your future endeavors.
Congratulations to you, and thank you for all that you've done, and have a wonderful road trip tomorrow. We will miss you. Senator Hollingsworth.
Thank you, Madam President. I also had the privilege of introducing some good friends from Temecula from the Pechanga Tribal Council. Councilmember Corinna Garbani and Rick Sanchez are right around the pillar there. I can't see them. Give a wave.
Welcome to the California State Senate. Members, under introductions and first reading of bills, bills are deemed read. Consideration of daily files, second reading files. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 957 with amendments, Senate Bill 1079 with amendments, Senate Bill 933 with amendments, and Senate Bill 1222 with amendments.
Bills have been read. Senator Padilla recognized at Senator Steinberg's desk.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, if I can ask for your attention and indulgence, please. We have a very, very special occasion to celebrate today. Our good friend, and I believe I speak for all of us when I say our good friend, and Chief Sergeant at Arms Tony Beard is turning, is it 30? Is it 40? He's turning 60 today. Tony, happy birthday. But wait, there's more. This year, we celebrate 100 years of public service by the Beard family to the state of California. And if you'll allow me to share just a little bit of the history that will make Tony blush, probably the only thing in this world that will make him blush. Joseph Beard, Tony's grandfather, an Irish immigrant who befriended Governor Hiram Johnson. We won't say where, well, we will say where in a little bit. In 1910, went on to become captain of the state police. And at the time, that office was, among the duties and responsibilities included the oversight of the sergeant's office for the legislature. And he ran the state police for 37 years until finally retiring in 1947. That was Joseph Beard. Joseph's son, Tony Sr., remembers crawling around the governor's desk in the days of the Johnson administration. Tony Sr. was a legend in his own right. He became one of the greatest athletes of his time, was not a one-sport, not a two-sport, not a three-sport, but a four-sport letterman at the University of Southern California, including having played on the unbeaten, untied national champion football team in 1932. He had good friends in the likes of Ward Bond and John Wayne, who saw in his athletic abilities the promise of being a stuntman in Hollywood, in the entertainment industry, in which he did, having played the doubles of folks like Spencer Tracy and Clark Gable in movies, including Mutiny on the Bounty, Gone with the Wind, Northwest Passage, and Captain Courageous. After a short career with the California Highway Patrol, where he received numerous commendations for saving lives in Donner Lake, Tony Sr. Returned to his roots and in 1953 became the Chief Sergeant at Arms of the California State Assembly. In May of 1967, Tony Jr., if you can imagine our Tony, at the ripe old age of about 17, in the assembly chambers, kind of sitting patiently, waiting for his father to take him out to lunch on his birthday, witnessed the following. Gentlemen, armed folks made their way into the back of the assembly chambers. The Black Panthers had stormed their way into the Capitol, stormed their way onto assembly chambers. And what Tony Jr. saw was his father walked calmly and coolly to these armed gentlemen and quickly escort them out. You might think to yourself, well, what did he say? Some words that Tony Jr. have become familiar with, because years later, some 20 years later, Mario Van Peebles was filming the movie Panthers and came across our Tony. And I'll let Tony sort of tell the details of the story, but somehow Tony was on a vacation day and was asked to repeat those same words of what a sergeant of arms would have done to keep armed men from storming the floor of the State Assembly. On the first take, He read his line almost to perfection, according to Tony Jr. But Mario Van Peebles kind of disagreed. He said, you know what? You hit the line, but you hit it with your best Clint Eastwood. That's not what we need for this film. I need you to say those words, but I need you to give me your best Barney Fife. And I think that's the only time the state capitol has seen Tony Jr. conduct himself that way. Tony Jr. began his career with Senate Special Services in 1966. And in 1979, at the ripe old age of 29, became the Chief Sergeant at Arms of our California State Senate and has developed a tremendous track record and career. He set out to professionalize the office, a project he undertook to develop procedures and protocols working with the National Legislative Services and Security Association. And indeed, the emergency plan he developed for our state capitol was the very model utilized for the folks who protect the U.S. Capitol. And in his time, Tony Beard has seen it all, from watching close followers of Charles Manson aim point blank at President Ford, to the truck that barreled its way into the state capitol by a mentally ill driver. It's why he keeps a can of milk and burnt granite on his desk. And certainly after the tragic events of September 11th, Tony and his leadership led to the installation of metal detectors and the barriers around our Capitol to keep us and this building, the People's Building, safe. I can quote from many a pro tem over the course of the last several decades, many a majority leader and minority leader, but I think it's best summed up this way. After Tony Sr.'s passing in the early 1980s, Joe Quintana wrote about father and son when he said this about Tony Jr. His courtesy is unfailing, his actions always professional, his efficiency obvious. Beard's father would be as proud of Tony Jr. as Tony Jr. is of his father. So for his birthday, for his decades of service, for the entire Beard family, including his wife Laura and Kristen, where are you hiding? Come on, Chuck, come on and join us here for a picture. All we can do is say thank you. This is not a retirement, don't get the wrong idea, but happy birthday. And after session, we will have a cake and a photo display, photo gallery in the members' lounge. And this evening, some of you, I hope, will find your way to that historic location that we've been talking about. For a few words, please welcome Senate Sergeant at Arms, Tony Beard.
Congratulations and happy birthday.
It's the part I hate when you all take photographs, but okay.
I see some future sergeants at arms there. Get ready.
Yeah. Okay, I quit. Wow, thanks. John Wayne said one time, mis raíces están aquí. My roots are buried here. So, the idea, since none of you will be here, the idea is I'll work another quick 20, and then one of these three will be here, one will be over there, and another one will be elected, standing up there. So this is my family, my sneaky daughter, the lobbyist, my grandchildren, Charlie, Chloe, and Cooper. He rides dirt bikes. He's 5. He's into the stunt thing. So, but I also have to tell you that my mother-in-law is here today. You need to know that when I turned 18 years old at high school, she signed me up for the draft. I've never forgotten her for that. My brother-in-law and his wife, Adrian, he's an HR consultant. He's pretty good at it, so we talk a lot. My wife, Laura. I'm still working on Husband of the Year award after 40 years. But most importantly, my brother-in-law and sister are here, Pat and Bill Foster, who flew up all the way from L.A. so we could have dinner together tonight. And I wanted to give them a special acknowledgement. She's one of my heroes growing up. Spent a lot of time in Los Angeles surfing and living at their house and doing construction for Bill. I'm good at what I do because of people like Bill telling you to be the best at what you can be. My dad told me if you're going to do it, be the best at what you can be. That'll never stop for me until I do tend to leave. But I thank you for all this. This is my home. Or that's my as I have this tendency at night to respond to a call or two from some of you, and I get the line like, "Who was that?" You're a little harder to reach than others. Not for wanting to. So she'll say, "Well, who's that?" And I'll let her know it's a member. And she'll go, "So you're going to go see your first wife, that building?" I said, "Yep, that's it." So I have to thank her for all her patience all these years and putting up with my love for this place and all of you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart today.
Members, we have witnessed the first century of the Beards. Prepare for the second century. Members, we are now prepared to take up items on Senate third reading. I'm going to go ahead and go through the file. I would ask you if you're prepared to take up an item, please do so at this time. File item 13, Senator Simitian, not at his desk. File item 14, Senator Liu. Senator Liu. Senator Liu. File item 14, are you prepared to take this up? Absolutely. Pass on file. File item 15, Senator Hancock, not at her desk. File item 16, Senator DeSaulnier. Pass on file. File item 17, Senator Ducheney, not at her desk. File item 18, Senator Ducheney, not at her desk. File item 19, Senator Corbett. Pass on file. File item 20, Senator Wolk. Pass. File item 21, Senator Corbett. Pass on file. File item 22, Senator DeSaulnier. Pass on file. File item 23, Senator Leno. Pass. File item 24, Senator Yee. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 840 by Senator Yee, enacting to reporting crimes.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Let me present SB 840, which passed the Public Safety, or Senate Public Safety, with bipartisan support. What this bill will do is to update the Sherry Iverson Crime Victims Protection Act which some of you have already voted on in the past. What this legislation basically does is to make one minor change, and that is to cover not only kids under 14, but also to up that to individuals 18 and below, and this hopefully will provide additional protection for all of our children in all of our communities. With that, urge an aye vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested? Aye. Alquist? Ashburn? Calderon? Cedillo? Cogdill? Cogdill, aye. Cedillo, aye. Corbett? Aye. Correa? Cox? Aye. Denham? Aye. DeSaulnier? Aye. Ducheney? Dutton? Aye. Flores? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Harmon? Aye. Hollingsworth? Huff? Aye. Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Lowenthal? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Aye. Padilla? Pavley? Aye. Price? Aye. Romero? Aye. Runner? Aye. Smidian? Aye. Steinberg? Strickland? Aye. Walters? Aye. Wiggins? Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Wyland? Aye. Yee? Yee, aye. Correa, aye.
Ayes 29, noes 0. The bill is passed. File item 25, Senator Pavley, not at her desk. File item 26, pass on file. File item 27, Senator Leno, pass on file. File item 28, Leno, pass on file. File item 29, Senator Price, not at his desk. File item 30, Senator Yee. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1050 by Senator Yee, enacting to Healing Arts.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, this is a cleanup of a trailer bill that was passed by all of us, and what this bill will do is to essentially take the naturopath out of the osteopath board, and hopefully through that provide an independence and a clarity between the osteopath and the naturopath. There is now consensus among all the different professions, and with that, urge an aye vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Is there any objection to substituting the unanimous roll call? Okay, seeing none. Ayes 29, noes 0. The bill is passed. File item 31, Senator Leno, pass on file. File item 32, Senator Yee, 3 for 3 perhaps? Pass on file. File item 33, Senator Hancock. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1444 by Senator Hancock, enacting to pupil instruction.
Thank you, Madam President. SB 1444 provides a definition of a STEM education. That's education in science, technology, engineering, and math that reflects the work of the State Department of Education's STEM work group. It is the first step to place some parameters in code so that as we expand our efforts in STEM education and career technical education, there is a common agreed upon definition. The need for more skilled professionals in fields related to science, technology, engineering, and math has been well documented in the last 10 years. It has led to increased interest in career technical education in the state and to national initiatives, including the recent allocation of $260 million from the federal government to the states. We need to move forward to improve our education for our children in these areas. The bill is supported by Bayer Healthcare, California Science Teachers Association, California Business Education Association, the California Space Authority, among others. There is no opposition. I would ask for your aye vote.
Senator Onestad.
Question of the author.
Without objection.
Senator, do you expect this bill to be altered or amended significantly after it leaves this House?
I do not.
Thank you.
Is there any discussion or debate? Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested? Aye. Alquist? Ashburn? Aye. Calderon? Cedillo? Aye. Cogdill? Corbett? Aye. Correa? Cox? No. Denham? No. DeSaulnier? Aye. Ducheney? Aye. Dutton? Flores? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Harmon? No. Hollingsworth? Huff? No. Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Aye. Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Price? Aye. Romero?
Aye.
Aye. Runner? Smidian? Aye. Steinberg? Strickland? No. Walters? No. Wiggins? Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Wyland? Aye. Yee? Yee, aye. Runner, no. Correa, aye. Hollingsworth, no. Madam President, ayes 24.
Ayes 24, noes 8. The bill has passed. File item 34, Senator Liu. Pass on file. File item 35, Senator Padilla. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1040 by Senator Padilla, an act relating to telecommunications and declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, as many of you know, broadband has quickly become the backbone of our 21st century digital economy, and California has been a leader nationally in its deployment of technology and the adoption amongst Californians. Indeed, 96% of Californians now have some form of broadband option for commercial activity, education activity, interface with government, healthcare, etc. Last session, this legislature and the governor approved the California Advanced Services Fund, a fund of up to $100 million to help build out broadband in the unserved areas of our state. This bill would make an additional $125 million available for these grants over the period of 5 years. We've seen a near full subscription of the first $100 million. With pending applications, the capacity would exceed the $100 million. And we're also in this tight window of time to leverage federal dollars for broadband projects. So this $125 million would not only be necessary, but in our interest, and it's certainly timely. The bill would also create 2 new accounts within the fund, one a broadband infrastructure revolving loan account, the second a rural and urban regional broadband consortia grant account, and would eliminate the sunset of the program. It's enjoyed tremendous bipartisan support thus far, and I ask for your aye vote.
Senator Dutton.
Thank you, Madam President and members. As Vice Chair of the Senate Energy Committee, I rise in support of SB 1040. This bill will help bring economic benefits of high-speed internet access to all parts of California. The California Advanced Services Fund was established to help deploy a digital infrastructure in the high-cost rural and remote areas of this state. We've heard from communities that have indicated that this has been a tremendous benefit to them in helping them to bring progress to their local communities. The internet access is going to be critical to California's future economic recovery, especially with regards to the small businesses and homes in our rural areas of our state. I would ask for a support of my colleagues for this bill. I think it is worthwhile and it is of an economic benefit. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested? Aye. Alquist? Ashburn? Calderon? Cedillo? Aye. Cogdill? Aye. Corbett? Aye. Correa? Aye. Cox? Aye. Denham? Aye. DeSaulnier? Aye. Ducheney? Aye. Dutton? Aye. Flores? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Harmon? Aye. Hollingsworth? Aye. Huff? Aye. Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Aye. Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Price? I, Romero.
Aye.
I, Runner. I, Semidian. I, Steinberg. Strickland. I, Walters. I, Wiggins. Wolk. I, Wright. I, Wyland. I, Yee. Yee, aye.
Ayes 33, no 0 on the urgency. Ayes 33, no 0 on the measure. The bill is passed. File item 36, Senator Calderon, pass on file. File item 37, Senator Leno, pass on file. File item 38, Senator Negrete McLeod. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1196 by Senator Negrete McLeod, an act relating to developmental services.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, on January 29th, the Department of Developmental Services announced its plan to close the Latterman Developmental Center in Pomona. I have introduced 1196 to at least ensure timely public notifications and disclosure by DDS. This bill would require that any plans and other public documents be posted on the department's website no more than 72 hours after publication. In addition, the department would be required to post on its website notice of any public meetings or teleconferences relative to the proposed closure, along with the public access information no less than 72 hours prior to those public meetings or teleconferences. I ask for your aye vote on SB 1196.
Is there any discussion or debate? Is there any objection to using the unanimous roll call? Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested. Aye. Alquist. Ashburn. Aye. Calderon. Cedillo. Aye. Cogdill. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Cox. Aye. Denham. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. DeChaney. Dutton. Flores. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. Hollingsworth. Aye. Huff. Aye. Kehoe. Aye. Leno. Aye. Liu. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Oropesa. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Price. Aye. Romero.
Aye.
Aye. Runner. Aye. Semidian. Steinberg. Strickland. Aye. Walters. Aye. Wiggins. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Wyland. Aye. Yee. Yee, aye.
Call the absent members.
Alquist. Calderon. Cogdill. Correa. Aye. DeChaney. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Harmon. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Smidian. Aye. Steinberg. Wiggins. Wright. Wright, aye. Madam President, ayes 32, no 0. Ayes 33.
Ayes 33, no 0. The bill is passed. Members, I'm going to acknowledge Senator Padilla under motions and resolutions.
For purposes of introduction, members, we're joined today by a very special guest, Ms. Christina Eustace of Universal Music Group and the Fonavisa record label. She is the 2007 winner of the Latino version of American Idol, if you will, on the Univision network, Objetivo Fama. She's joined by executives from Universal Music, Gus Lopez, Nydia Lehner, Amy Isbell, and Joel Fleitow from the Recording Industry Association of America. She'll be performing tonight at the Spirit Awards for the Latino Caucus. Welcome.
Congratulations. Felicidades. And if anybody thinks they can sing, now's your moment. Take it. Senator Onnested, you think you can sing?
Also, for purposes of introduction, I have folks with us in the back of the chamber. My intern for the last several months, Christy Cuff, is leaving us to go to college, San Luis Obispo, Cal Poly, where she intends to pursue a career in what else? Medicine. Well, give her a good welcome.
Congratulations to you. Thank you. Members, back on file. File item 39, Senator Wolk. Pass on file. File item 40, Senator Cogdill. Pass on file. 41, Senator Cedillo. Pass on file. 42, pass on file. 43, Senator DeSaulnier. Pass on file. 44, Senator Padilla. Pass on file. 45, Senator Hancock. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1320 by Senator Hancock, an act relating to transportation.
Thank you, Madam President. SB 1320 is a district bill that adds Alameda Contra Costa Transit District to existing law that allows the City and County of San Francisco and the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority to adopt and implement a local administrative process for transit infractions. The bill would allow AC Transit to adjudicate fare evasion and passenger misconduct, such as smoking or eating on the bus, through an administrative law judge rather than the courts, freeing our courts to handle more serious offenses. I would ask for your aye vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested, Alquist, Ashburn, Calderon, Cedillo, aye. Cogdill, no. Corbett, aye. Correa, aye. Cox, aye. Denham, no. DeSaulnier, aye. Ducheney, Dutton, Flores, aye. Hancock, aye. Harmon, no. Hollingsworth, no. Huff, aye. Kehoe, aye. Leno, aye. Liu, aye. Lowenthal, aye. Negrete McLeod, aye. Oropesa, aye. Padilla, Papley, aye. Price, Romero,
aye.
Aye. Runner, Smidian, aye. Steinberg, Strickland, no. Walters, no. Wiggins, Wolk, aye. Wright, Wyland, Yee, aye. Ducheney, aye.
Call the absent members.
Dutton, no. Onnested, no. Alquist, Ashburn, no. Calderon, Padilla, aye. Price, aye. Runner, no. Steinberg, Wiggins, Wright, aye. Wyland, no.
Ayes 23, noes 11. The bill is passed. File item 46, Senator Correa. Pass on file. 47, Senator Correa. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1019 by Senator Correa, an act relating to subdivided lands.
Madam President, Senators, this bill simply removes a sunset in the existing law dealing with procedures for release of a performance bond once public improvements are completed within specified time. Ask for an aye vote.
Is there any discussion or debate? Is there any objection to using the unanimous roll call on this item? Secretary, please call the roll.
Onnested, aye. Alquist, Ashburn, aye. Calderon, Cedillo, aye. Cogdill, aye. Corbett, aye. Correa, Cox, aye. Denham, aye. DeSaulnier, aye. Ducheney, aye. Dutton, aye. Flores, aye. Hancock, aye. Harmon, aye. Hollingsworth, aye. Huff, aye. Kehoe, aye. Leno, aye. Liu, aye. Lowenthal, aye. Negrete McLeod, aye. Oropesa, aye. Padilla, Papley, aye. Price, Romero,
aye.
Aye. Runner, aye. Smidian, Steinberg, Strickland, aye. Walters, aye. Wiggins, Wolk, aye. Wright, Wyland, aye. Yee, aye. Wright, aye. Smidian, aye.
Ayes 31, no 0. The bill is passed. File item, well, members, we have come to the end of Senate third reading. Is there any other member who wishes to take up an item under Senate third reading file? Let's go to unfinished business. We just have a couple of items. Senator Wolk, file item 11. File item 12, pass on file. Okay, members, we do have a consent calendar. The consent calendar is items 69 to 73. Is there any objection to using our unanimous roll call on the consent calendar? Seeing none, ayes 33, no 0. The consent calendar is adopted. Members, we also have a special consent calendar, items 74 through 94. Any objection to using the unanimous roll call? Seeing none, ayes 33, no 0. The special consent calendar is adopted. If there is no other business, Senator Onestad, the desk is clear.
Thursday at 9, right?
Kehoe.
Are you ready?
Senator Onestad.
Senate will be in recess until 3:30, at which time the adjournment motion will be made, and we'll reconvene Thursday morning, 9 o'clock.
Thank you, Senator Onestad. Senator DeSaulnier, for what purpose do you rise?
Purpose for announcements, Madam President. Senate Labor and Industrial Relations will meet immediately upon adjournment in room 2040 to finish its meeting of last week. It's vote only, members.
Members of the committee, please note. Senator Kehoe, for what purpose do you rise?
Thank you, Madam President. Members, the Senate Committee on Appropriations will resume session 15 minutes after we adjourn. So about 12:15, if members would return to 4302 and authors return to 4302, we have about a third of the file to go.
Thank you, Senator Kehoe. Members of the committee, please note. Senator Padilla, for what purpose do you rise?
For an announcement as well, Madam President. Colleagues, you heard me mention a little gathering after session here in the members' lounge with some photos and some cake. I failed to mention we have a second birthday we're celebrating today. No other than our Secretary of the Senate, Greg Schmidt. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And there's, I think after 5 o'clock, after 6 o'clock, there'll be the official after party at none other than Old Ironsides, where Tony's grandfather and Governor Johnson spent a little bit of their time, let's just say. We hope to see you there.
Members, just if I might note, Secretary Schmidt probably doesn't have family that's been here for 100 years, but if you want to know the history of anything that has happened in the last 100 years, he knows all the secrets and where the bones are buried. Oh, including Tony's birthday. Senator Simitian, for what purpose do you rise?
Madam President, I might have risen on a point of personal privilege to ask if the Secretary of the Senate had that information based on his own personal observation over the course of that 100 years, but that might have been misconstrued. So I am rising merely for a point of information, which is to tell members of the Senate Environmental Quality Committee that we will meet at 2:30 for Senate Environmental Quality.
Members of the committee, please note. Senator Oropesa, for what purpose do you rise?
To invite all of my colleagues, all of our colleagues, to the Latino Caucus celebration of the Spirit Awards that is happening on the South Lawn at 5:30 today. Please come join us. It'll be a lot of fun. You know, we know how to fiesta.
Members, please note. And members, let me acknowledge slight correction on the vote for the consent calendar. It is actually ayes 34, no 0 on the consent calendar. Senator Negrete McLeod, for what purpose do you rise?
Purposes of announcement, the BMP committee will meet immediately after session 3191 for BMP.
Members of the committee, please note. Senator Onestad.
Madam Chair, just to announce that there will be check-in Tuesday and Wednesday of this week.
Check-in noted. Senator Price, do you wish to announce the Select Committee hearing on Wednesday?
Yes, Madam President. We will be Legislative Black Caucus will be hosting a educational forum on closing the achievement gap. All members are invited. The meeting will be in meeting room, State Capitol Room 112, Wednesday, 2:30 to 6:30. All are invited. It is lining up to be a very informative discussion on closing the achievement gap. All members are urged to attend. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Price. Any other item? Members, the Senate now stands in recess until 3:30.